everyone, and thanks for tuning in to LCPS TV. Tonight we're broadcasting live from the Field of Dreams here in lovely Las Cruces, New Mexico, where the Mayfield Trojans are going to take on the Alamogordo Tigers. I'm Emerson Morrow from Mayfield High School.
And I'm Alex Montoya from Centennial High School. Welcome.
Well, we are very fortunate tonight because we're in for a great game, and the weather has been clearing up. The last week has been super rainy and cloudy and dreary, right, Alex?
Yes, it has. It's just been rainy last night during Centennial's game. It was rainy and drizzly, and it wasn't too much fun. But tonight it is looking great, Emerson.
That's awesome. So we are in for a great treat here with the weather. If you can't make it down to the field tonight, then stay tuned for sure. We're going to be bringing you all the details of tonight's game. We can't wait to spend the evening with you all. So thanks for tuning in to LCPS TV.
No, it was turned off.
He's probably out fishing.
No, he's not fishing. I saw him today.
Oh, you did? Well, he'll be here then. He'll be on the sideline.
He's out there somewhere. I'm just taking a look.
Over here. Sit over here, just in case. Over here. Put it over here. Bring it over here.
But hold on, we want to show everybody what it says.
No, you want to take it?
Okay. Now we're going.
From that chair this way. Yeah.
What does it say? Hey. Can you read this thing? No, it's
Oh, they here? No, they went on the mid. Where's Hey, Cosmo, one on the bottom too, right?
Hang on. Let me just secure it.
Stretch it out. Make sure you stretch it out too.
More?
Yeah, stretch it.
right there?
Yeah, stretch
Yeah.
it. Stretch it.
Wait. Dad, you need one right here.
Do we? Mama,
Yeah.
we need it right here?
Hang on.
It's big.
Pull it, Cosmo.
Oh, wait, no, he's really doing it.
I'm going to stretch this one tight.
Go. I just say you wanted to do that.
Ready?
Yeah, go. Right there. Pull right here. No, what kind of? Well, yeah, get one right here.
Yeah.
Here, anyway.
Anything on the bottom?
Yeah, it would be good pulling the square just to stretch it out.
Huh?
Yeah. Just pull the bottom.
Great size. Then your opponent ever will. Oh, that's awesome. There we go.
You might not be able to get it.
Should we take a picture? I feel like this deserves a picture.
Tying over here.
Lower the time.
If you want it, where's your phone?
Oh my gosh, there's everything.
Mama got this? Where did she get this? Yeah, that's what they know.
The first day we took a shower.
Stand right there by it. No, yes.
For real, don't be like that. Okay, one right here.
Taking pictures?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I don't know where.
Oh yeah, right here.
Go up to the team. Okay.
I'm gonna walk past you.
Dad. Dad, I'm gonna go to the front. Wait, stay right there. No. One. All right. 1, 2, 3. Stay sexy. Stay sexy. No.
Hurry up, take a picture.
Okay, take it. I'll be right back. Yeah, you can't even get it all on your damn phone.
We need to back up.
Should I jump the fence? Or try to jump the fence?
Watch. One of these two. Watch. One of these two. Neil. Neil.
Hey, come here. Come here. Take this picture for me.
You good? You want to stand right here? Joe, let's stay over here.
Okay. That's the camera.
Joe, stand on that side.
You're gonna take a picture of all of this. So
Stand
scoot
right
back if you have to, mijo. Oh.
Just like that.
Okay. Do you have everybody, like all of us? Okay. 1, 2, 3. One more. One more. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil.
Tickets $1. When the prize is 4 quarters, 50 tickets $1. All right.
Is this the microphone?
You're always right.
That's the back call, ref. Come on, ref. Come on, ref. That was a bad call.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
You guys don't need to be yelling at the referee.
Tonight's matchup between the visiting Alamogordo Tigers, and your Mayfield Trojans. Colors by the Mayfield Air Force Junior ROTC under the direction of Commander Cadet First Lieutenant Matthew Escalera in the playing of our national anthem by the Mayfield High School Trojan Marching Band.
Oh, thanks, Steve. You like them? No, I like the Trojans. I like those guys. Those ones. You like this team? What? Which one? Mayfield? You're having a heart.
The Trojans haven't lost to the Tigers in ages. Alamogordo's fired up about this opportunity tonight, but I think they've handled it well, Greg, in terms of they haven't played the look at us card. They're kind of sneaking in here 3-0 as opposed to making a lot of bold statements.
Well, they've done what they can do. They've beaten 3 teams, beaten them all soundly, and all you can do is beat the people on your schedule. They've beaten the people on their schedule. So it's like Mark keeps talking about a year ago in Valley, and they played a very weak schedule leading up until the postseason play, and we'll see what Alamogordo, what their week schedule indicates. Are they a good team? Are they a fair team? I think clearly we can say they are an improved team.
And the fashion report is a good one tonight, guys. We'll be able to see the numbers on both teams. So both coaching staffs did a great job in picking out uniforms that assist us in broadcasting. Brad Beasley's down on the sideline. It poured and poured and poured and poured and poured and poured and poured the last 48 hours or so. What's it like down there?
You know, the field, obviously, it's artificial turf, so it's not too bad. Still a little bit slick, obviously, because of the rain and the humidity. I actually got a lot of mosquitoes down here, which is kind of weird. Obviously, mosquitoes, they're kind of prevalent down here in the valley, but they're out in full force tonight already. Mayfield, obviously, wearing those gold pants that I don't think they've worn those since I was a sophomore, which is also the last time that Alamogordo beat Mayfield. So I don't know if that's a bad sign or not. But
do you think you're still fit?
No, they weren't very flattering when I was a sophomore, and they definitely wouldn't be flattering at 35.
Will receive to begin the game.
All right, so it'll be Mayfield and Alamogordo here. It's the top of the hour. Let's pause for station identification. Back with the opening kick right after this.
Think about the last time you had a vacation. Don't you
This is
want
just
those
supposed to be
memories
an
to
ID.
last forever? We'll bring those vacation photos down to the Picture Frame
Kill it
Factory
after this
outlet
commercial
preserve
and
those
play the
memories
ID.
for a lifetime. Whether
Sorry.
you want to remember your
I thought
time
you'd
at the
have the
Grand
ID
Canyon
queued
with the
up.
kids, or that
and support Trojan Nation.
Finish? Alright. 30? CJ? Selfie for me.
Well, we won't do that one again. It'll be Matthew Franco kicking off for the Trojans. Single safety back at the 7 for Alamogordo. And then 2 up minute around the 15 for the Tigers. Tigers 3-0, the Trojans are 3-0. Mayfield kicking to Alamogordo. And Franco's boot is away, and high end over end kick will be 2 yards into the end zone for a touchback.
Touchback.
So Alamogordo starts at their own 20-yard line.
Kind of interesting thing in the kickoff on nobody handles, but you notice running down all the Mayfield players stayed in their lanes, and so a trick play is not going to work against that. Beautiful night for football, Brad.
Absolutely. The flags are completely still. It's a beautiful night and just fantastic. I'm really excited for some Friday night lights.
All right, quarterback is Kyle Hooper. Hooper sets his team up with 3 wide receivers to the left. First and 10 from the Tiger 20. Takes the snap, fires it off left side. Bubble screen caught 25-30. And the ball stripped away. Penalty marker flies as the catch made by Barrientos. And he showed some speed up the sideline. If the play stands, it's a gain of 16, but there's a marker down back at the 23-yard line on the very first play from scrimmage, and it's a hold against Alamogordo.
Yeah, you have a hold there on the outside. Anytime you get those bubble screens, I'm sure like Greg was going to point out, it's hard to get to the edge unless somebody's holding.
So what would have been a gain of 15 works out to be a gain of about 3, and then a 10-yard penalty stepped off, so they lose 7 altogether. And it's going to be first down and 17 from the 13-yard line. A good start and a bad start all at the same time for Alamogordo.
Alamogordo, no huddle approach.
Three receivers wide to the right and one to the left. Hooper, the sophomore, back to pass. Looks left, now flushed right on the run. He'll tuck it. No, he's going to throw it at the last minute. It's tipped by a Trojan, tipped by a Tiger, and then caught by a Tiger. Alex Ramirez catches it for a first down at the Alamogordo 34-yard line.
Hooper was close to being over the line of scrimmage, but he was able to get rid of the ball. I think he was debating whether to keep it and run himself and run out of bounds or throw it. He got rid of it. It was very fortunate. Could have been intercepted, but he got the tip went to his own teammate.
Gain of 21 yards on the play. First and 10 for Alamogordo at their own 34-yard line. Hooper back to pass. Hooper looking downfield. Now he's going to run straight ahead across the 35 up to the 38-yard line. No sack because he picked up 4.5 yards. And it's second down and 6 for the Tigers.
You know, Greg, what I'm noticing, Alamogordo this year versus last year, their offensive line is substantially bigger than they were in previous years.
And it looks like from here up here, it looks like they're a lot larger than Mayfield.
Second and 6 for the Tigers from the Tiger 38-yard line. Trips to the left, one receiver to the right side. Hooper back to pass, checks it down, and hits his single ace back coming out of the backfield. And he gets rid of a tackler and has a first down as he goes out of bounds on the Tiger sideline on the eastern side of the stadium at the 45. It's a gain of 7.
Well, that worked out like a bubble screen. I normally think of a bubble screen being thrown to the wide receiver. This was to the tailback coming out of the backfield. He had one blocker ahead over there, and there was a successful block, so they moved the chains again.
1st and 10 for the Tigers at their own 46-yard line. 3 receivers to the wide side of the field to the right. And Hooper back to pass. Hooper gets a pass rush up the middle, sidesteps it, throws over the middle behind his intended receiver, Julian Segura. And then it was tipped near a Trojan, but it's incomplete. And it's 2nd down and 10. Hooper looks pretty aware in that pocket, does a nice job sidestepping some pressure straight up from the center of the nose guard position.
Yeah, he's doing a little bit of living dangerously out there here early in the game.
2nd down and 10 for the Tigers. The ball is at the Alamogordo 45-yard line. Good snap to Hooper. Drops back to pass, setting up a screen. Complete. The Trojans all over it defensively. Matheson sticks his helmet right in Hunter Graham's belly and brings him down for a loss of 6.
Well, the Mayfield front 5 recognized that this was a screen right away. They took a couple steps and realized they're letting us through here too easy, and they immediately headed towards the screen, so they blew up that play.
Mitchell Matheson, 6', 190-pound defensive end on the stop, played it perfectly. And it's 3rd and 16 for the Tigers from the Alamogordo 40-yard line. 0-0 the score on the Jack Key scoreboard. 4 wide receivers for the Tigers on 3rd and 16 from their own 40. Good snap to Hooper. Trojans bring a linebacker. The pass is incomplete at midfield. It was intended for Brandon Henderson on a little out route towards the Tiger sideline. And that'll bring up 4th and 16 for the Tigers.
Brad, if you were a defensive lineman, what was the rule that the coaches gave you if the guys let you through, the blocker let you through?
So the rule was that you're not that good. You're not going to get through that fast. Once the second you get about 3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage and nobody touched you, you need to start staying in your position and looking for a running back and looking for that screen and staying home.
I think there was a flag actually. 9:57 to play in the opening quarter. 0-0 the score on the Jack Key scoreboard, and the Trojans start off 1st and 10 from the Mayfield 34-yard line. Trojans come out with 3 wide receivers wide to the left to the wide side of the field. Kavika Johnson looks to the sideline to Greg Hennington. Hennington shouting out something to Kavika. 2 tight ends. Kavika takes the snap, looks left, and fires deep. Man's open, caught, 45-40, 35-30, 25 down to the 23-yard line. Ben Tingen. So they kind of faked a bubble screen and then threw deep. Perfect pass from Kavika Johnson to Tingen. He's tackled at the 23-yard line of Alamogordo. It's a gain of 43.
Well, I love that play, and what they're looking for is they want the defense to read bubble screen so they jump the blocks, and that leaves the blocker deep open, and that's what happened pretty well there. He didn't go all the way, but it was a great play.
So it's now 1st and 10. The ball is at the Tiger 23-yard line. Fake handoff to Payson Rogers. Kavika stops, lets the defender go by. Now he turns it on. 15, 10, 5, touchdown Mayfield. But there's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. What a move by Kavika Johnson. Holding against Mayfield. This one's coming back. Trojans don't hold, do they?
That's a hard one. I guess I didn't see that because I didn't really see anybody in that area other than the Alamogordo defender that Kavika Johnson just absolutely put a move on. But right off the bat, 2 fantastic plays from Mayfield out of 2 formations, Greg and Jeff, that we haven't seen all season long. Double tights with, in one case we had double tight with 3 receivers to the left, and this time we had double tight with 2 running backs and receivers. So looks like Greg Hennington's mixing it up here early on.
Can't believe the stop and then the start by Kavika Johnson. But a hold called, and the Trojans are back to the Tiger 32. It's now 1st and 19 for Mayfield. 3 wide receivers to the right and a 2 tight end set. Kavika Johnson 5 yards behind center. Fields the snap, just tucks it and heads right. Gets to the edge at the 30, to the 25, up the hash. She's down to the 20-yard line. That's a pretty good gain considering it was about as simple a play as you can have. It was a gain of 12 for Kavika.
Yeah, just a design run to the right all the way behind his blockers. It was not an option pass or run. Kavika was going to carry it.
Gain of 11 as they pull it back to the 21-yard line. And so it's 2nd down and 8 for Mayfield. The ball is at the Tiger 21-yard line. Figueroa comes wide to the left. They have a slot to the left side as well. Eye in the shotgun. Hand off to Rogers. Rogers punches it to the 19. Picks up just 2. And it's going to bring up 3rd and long at the Tiger 19-yard line.
And this will, of course, be 4-down territory unless the Trojans would choose to go for a long field goal. But 3rd down is not as critical as it might be for some other teams.
8:32 to play in the opening quarter. 0-0 the score. Prieto goes wide to the right for Mayfield, twins to the left. Rogers in the backfield with Johnson. Johnson wants to throw on 3rd and long, and he hits his man complete at the 10. 1st down at the 8 for Ethan Alvarado.
Just a little slant pattern from the slot man going over the middle and hit him on the numbers on time. Kavika has made himself a very accurate passer. We always knew he had a strong, powerful arm, but he's gained a lot of touch and accuracy added to his passing game this year.
He's 2 for 2 for 54 yards. 1st and goal Mayfield. The ball's at the Tiger 8-yard line. Trojans come to the line of scrimmage. 2 tight ends, a wishbone set. Now they break the bone. Kavika Johnson hands it off to Payson Rogers. Rogers is hammered once he gets into the hole and brought down at the 5.5-yard line. Big hit by Nathaniel Martin. And it's now 2nd and goal at the 6.
Jeff, just an update for some games that we're watching. Rio Rancho took the opening drive down inside the Las Cruces high 20-yard line, but Las Cruces held pat, and Rio Rancho ended the drive with a field goal, up 3-0.
Thank you, Brad. So it's 3-0 Rio Rancho up in Rio Rancho. They lead the Dogs. 2nd and goal. The ball is at the 6. Handoff coming left. Tingen takes it and goes down at the 3. So that's a gain of 3. And it's 3rd down and goal from the 3.
Well, the Trojans do not really have a power running back. Their strongest running back they have is the quarterback, Kavika Johnson. And so they don't have somebody that you can just hand it to and he bowls it in here.
3rd down and goal. The ball is at the 3-yard line of Alamogordo. Tingen breaks the backfield and lines up as a wing to the right, so they have a broken bone. Kavika Johnson turns around, now moves Tingen back to where he was. Johnson calls. Johnson turns, hands it to Tingen. Tingen coming left. He powers his way in. Touchdown, Mayfield. Marker down, though. Penalty marker down.
Yeah, the wide receiver on this close side, Figueroa, would not communicate with the official when he was asking him if he was on or off, and basically he was off. He should have been on, and it was an easy call for the official.
So illegal formation against Mayfield. So instead of a TD, it's going to be 3rd and goal at the 8.
So Mayfield now has had 2 touchdowns called back on their opening drive. I would not bet against them getting a 3rd one across.
So the penalty moves the Trojans to the Tiger 8. 6:43 to play in the opening quarter. 0-0 the score. Wishbone for the Trojans with Alvarado wide to the left. And Kavika's back to pass and throws one right into the ground as he was getting a hit, trying to hit Alvarado on a little post route, and it's 4th and goal at the 8.
So we may see a field goal attempt here from the Trojans.
So the Trojans will indeed try a field goal. Matthew Franco in with the tee. Alvarado's the holder. It'll be a 25-yard field goal attempt for the Trojans. 6:39 to play in the opening quarter. And right now it's 0-0. So the tee down right in between the hashes. It's a straight-on kick for Franco. Snap good, the hold good, the boot is away. And the 25-yard field goal attempt is good. 3-0 Mayfield. 6:37 to play in the first on the Jack Key scoreboard. Back in a minute.
The Bulldogs, Trojan and Knight Radio Network.
their combined time and effort continuing to support the dreams of the students of Las Cruces. Burger Time, Bogart's Auto and RV Supply, Elite Home Security, Adams Radio, American Living Supply, Bravo Mike Radio, Las Cruces Coca-Cola, Farmers Insurance, Las Cruces Sun News, Memorial Medical Center, Price's Creameries, Sesparo Cognac GMC, Celopac 6 Union Arms, Cruces Trophy and Awards, KBIA TV, BTS Office Systems, Sports Clips Haircut, US Bank. Thank you.
First quarter, each team having touched the ball once. So Mayfield to kick it away. Franco tees it up on the left hash. Last time he got it into the end zone. Not much wind here this evening. And the boot is away, and this one will make the end zone as well for a touchback. So Alamogordo takes it at the 20 with 6:37 to play in the opening quarter. And Kyle Hooper and company back after gaining 26 yards on their last possession.
You know what's always interesting to me, guys, is Mayfield for the last 15 years has had fantastic kicking game. It doesn't matter whether it's Brock Baca or any of the other players they have, and it's amazing when you look around the state at some of these other teams that have no kicking whatsoever. It's amazing that Mayfield always has that nice weapon of being able to make those makeable field goals.
Makes a difference, and it could win you some games. Remember when Brock Baca was a freshman, he won a state championship for him. 1st and 10 for the Tigers, and a handoff straight ahead to Graham. Graham punches it out to the 22. You don't see a tailback with the number 84 very often, but Hunter Graham, in fact, wears 84 for the Tigers. Picks up 2 here. That's actually their second running play because of the scramble earlier by Hooper. 3-0 Mayfield on the Jack Key scoreboard. 6:12 to play until the end of the first quarter. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for the Tigers. Hooper drops to pass. Fires, man's open, caught 40, 45 to midfield. Collared down at the Trojan 47-yard line. Ramirez on the catch.
Brad, my early impression is I'm impressed with Hooper for a sophomore quarterback.
I am too. His motion's kind of different, but it's a really short motion. But I think that Alamogordo's run some fantastic routes. They got a couple guys going deep, a couple guys underneath, and then a swing guy. That's really hard to defend in any type of defense.
1st and 10 for the Tigers at the Trojan 47-yard line. Good snap to Hooper, looking downfield, now swings it out to Graham. Graham has it, cut down at the line of scrimmage. Good open field tackle for Mayfield. Making the stop was Riley Folkman, the defensive back at 2nd and 10.
Yeah, the receiver was coming out of the backfield there, and he gave support from the secondary and made the tackle at the line of scrimmage.
If he misses that tackle, the play works good. But he made the open field stop. 5:20 and counting to play in the first. Mayfield leads Alamogordo 3-0 here on the Jack Key scoreboard. Tigers standing around, looking to the sideline. The no huddle communication. Now they're ready on 2nd and 10. Hooper wants to throw. Looks right. Now he's flushed, and he's sacked back at the 40. Matheson sacks him. He just clearly held onto the ball too long. Loss of 10 yards, maybe more. Yeah, well, that's a loss of 13 yards.
And, of course, when you have these multiple receiver sets where you got 4 or 5 people out in the pattern, quarterback's not going to have long back there. And so it's like 1,001, 1,002, and before it gets to 3, you've got to get rid of the ball. Did you have any timing that you wanted, Brad, when you were playing?
Well, yeah, absolutely. You knew that exactly. You're right, Greg. 1, 2, and then look. The only time that you can have more time is if you have maybe a tight end in and you're running some really deep routes and you got to let it go. But that time you got to drop into a big, long retreat for the quarterback. But yeah, and with these little short routes and with a lot of Mayfield bringing a lot of pressure, you got to get rid of the ball quickly.
Delay a game for Alamogordo in the no huddle. Not one of their most impressive moments of the night. You're no huddling and you get a delay.
If I can make an observation on this no huddle, it's really interesting because most of the time I know we see the quarterback looking over, we see the wide receivers running over. In this case, you actually have the left tackle who actually comes almost all the way to the numbers before every snap to look what the blocking is supposed to be for that. So, they're getting everybody involved, in the play calling here, which is very interesting. I've never seen that before.
3rd down and 28. They need the Trojan 37 for a first down. 4 wide receivers for the Tigers. Good snap. Hooper gets pressure, flushed right, throws off his back foot, and it's dropped. Intended for Segura at the Tiger 43. That'd have been a gain of 8 if he catches it. And it's 4th and 30.
Yeah, had he caught it, it would have been a nice gain in the play, but it wouldn't have been anywhere near a first down, so they were going to be punting regardless.
On the sack, the Trojans turn the possession around, and now it's 4th and 30 for the Tigers at their own 35-yard line. Hooper is the punter. He stands back at the 23, single safety back for the Trojans. Trojans nearly block it. High, beautiful kick. Rogers will catch it, and he'll take off at the 30, gets a tackler at the 33, and is brought down at the 37. So Mayfield takes over at their own 37 with 3:35 to play in the opening quarter.
Maybe the prettiest punt we've seen so far this year. Had a lot of hang time, nice spiral, and we see so many rugby-style punts and low kicks and ones that maybe 30 yards and so forth. That was a pretty punt.
Cruces High has a touchdown called back on penalties. They have it 4th down, driving deep into Rio Rancho territory. Just an update from Rio Rancho, excuse me.
Thank you, Brad. So the Bulldogs have a TD called back. Still Rio Rancho with the lead. Kavika Johnson, meantime, here takes the snap, comes left, stops, reverses his field, spins away from a tackler. Now 3 tacklers have him, and they're going to drop him at the line of scrimmage is where the forward progress will be given. Maybe a loss of a yard tops.
Well, good pursuit by Alamogordo on that play, and with Kavika running or Payson Rogers, you better have a lot of pursuit because particularly with Kavika, sometimes it takes several people to bring him down, and they had very good pursuit from all their team on that play.
3:05 to play in the opening quarter, 3-0 Mayfield.
An update from Hobbs. Oñate scores on their second drive, and extra point was blocked. Oñate up 6-0.
So Oñate leads Hobbs 6-0. Early going over in Hobbs. Extra point was blocked, though. As Brad Beasley reported from the sideline, he's keeping an eye on the scores for us. 2nd down and 11. Johnson takes the snap, rolls right, protected well, and then fires it to Figueroa through his hands and incomplete. And it'll bring up 3rd and 11 for Mayfield. 3-0 Mayfield. 2:37 to play in the first quarter on the Jack Key scoreboard.
A rollout to the right, flood pattern over there. Made a good pass. I thought Isaac Figueroa could have caught the ball. It would have been a first down, but it went through his hands.
So 3rd down and 11. Mayfield did score a TD, but a illegal formation penalty brought it back. 3rd down and 11 for the Trojans from their own 36-yard line. They send Alvarado in motion. Johnson rolls right, fires deep to Tingen. 2 men covering him. He was open. Kavika misfired. It's incomplete. He's missed on 3 passes in a row. And the Trojans to punt on 4th and 11.
Kavika, both those passes was throwing on the run. A lot of coaches don't like that. A lot of people, football people don't like that, but personally I like to see a guy who's able to throw on the run.
So it's 4th and 11, and the Trojans to punt it away from their own 36-yard line. Matthew Franco drops back to boot it away. Twin safeties back, and it's snapped over Franco's head. He gives chase back at the 2. He picks it up, and he's tackled in the end zone for a safety. Making the defensive play for the Tigers, Jero Pinnell. So Pinnell tackled him in the end zone for a safety. And the snap just too tall for Franco, and a mistake you don't generally see the Trojans make.
Well, the 2 hallmarks of Mayfield football through the years are execution and speed. And that play, they did not have the execution.
So that makes it 3-2. Oh, they're bringing it back. No, they're not. It is 3-2. Trojans have it at their own 20 to punt it away to Alamogordo. So disastrous play on special teams, Brad. There's 2:29 to play in the first quarter.
And do we have any other baseball scores tonight?
Baseball.
3-2. Baseball score.
Another update.
From their own 20. So the snap just too tall for Franco. It was zipped with pretty good velocity on it.
Well, it rolled a long ways.
Yeah, he snapped the heck out of it.
And frankly, he was better to take it into the end zone, because if he fell on it, he was going to be on the one, and then they're looking at a touchdown. So take the 2.
Alamogordo is going to get it about where they would have got it after the Trojan punt after this play here. They have it teed up, so they're going to kick from their own 20-yard line off of a tee. You have an option whether to punt it or kickoff style kick it, and they're going kickoff style. And he squibs it, and it makes it through the 2 lines and rolls to the 31. Picked up there, the 35-40, 45-50, 45, all the way to the 42-yard line for Ramirez. So Alamogordo has it at the Mayfield 42-yard line. Ramirez has some speed. They've got more speed than they've had.
He was pretty electric on that return, and he picked up the ball and really accelerated. Didn't take him long to get upfield.
So a safety for the Trojans on the board for Alamogordo after a snap over the punter's head, and it's 3-2. 1st and 10 for the Tigers at the Trojan 41-yard line. Little pitch play. Goes to the running back going left, and he's got the 40 and down to the 37-yard line. On the carry was Carlos Hicks. And Hicks stopped after about a 3-4 yard gain. And it's 2nd down and about 6 at the Trojan 37-yard line. 2 minutes to play in the opening quarter. The Trojans lead at 3-2 on the Jack Key scoreboard. 3 receivers come to the wide side of the field on the right. Waist-high snap to Hooper. He gets pressure right away up from the center, and now he rolls right, and he gets sacked out on the edge at the Trojan 39-yard line. Giving him some pressure right away was Justin Sotelo.
And if they're going to run those deep patterns, they're going to have to give him more protection, because Mayfield is quick and they get through there quickly. And either they're going to have to execute their screen passes successfully, or they're going to have to run wide. But they're not giving him a whole lot of time because they send so many receivers out, and the receivers are running deep on that particular play.
Lost just 1.5 yards on the sack. So it brings up 3rd and long, and they're taking a long time getting this play in. 3rd down and about 7. Back to pass is Hooper. This time they protect him, and the pass is incomplete at the 35-yard line, nearly intercepted. That was the big groan you heard, as jumping the route and making a diving attempt at the pass was Robert Zarate, and it looked like he was going to come up with it. But once he hit the ground, it came free and incomplete. So it's 4th and 7.
Well, Mayfield needed a good defensive stand there after the kickoff return and after the safety, but they got it when they needed it. But Mayfield has a history of getting to doing what they need to do when they need to do it.
So Alamogordo in punt formation with Hooper standing at midfield. Payson Rogers back to receive the kick will stand at the 10. On 4th and 7 at the Trojan 38. Hooper wants to fake it, and the whistles blow and penalty markers fly and stop the play right.
Well, and it's interesting that the Mayfield defenders all stayed at home. Nobody was, I think Alamogordo was counting on a big rush from the Trojans, but the Trojan defenders were at home, and he had 2 receivers over at the left on the fake punt, and but they were both covered, so it may be a good thing for Alamogordo because now they will punt it.
False start. Well, illegal procedure was the call. I think it was probably an illegal formation is what they were called for.
I'm surprised Alamogordo just didn't come out and run a play, just regular offense.
So they line up in their punt formation again, which is a hybrid of their offense. This time Hooper will punt, and Hooper does punt, and he shanks it. And it hits just beyond the 1st down marker at the 30.
So about a 15-yard punt. Won't be very happy with that. So Mayfield did not suffer from the poor field position.
14-yard punt. And the Trojans start at their own 30. 53 seconds to play in the opening quarter. And it's 3-2. Mayfield with the lead. The Trojans get the ball back. Last time, the Trojans went 3 and out and then snapped it over the punter's head on 4th down. 1st and 10. Kavika Johnson out of the split eye. Hands off and some running room for Payson Rogers. Spins off a tackler at the 35. Goes down at the 39. It's a gain of 9 for Payson.
Brad, looks like Alamogordo is a fairly athletic team.
Definitely. They've always been an athletic team. They've always had some really good athletes. That's the benefit of having that base there. They've got some really, really good players on that side. What I've noticed this year compared to last year, they just have a lot more speed at this point.
2nd down and a yard to go for the Trojans at their Trojan 39-yard line. Twins to the right. Kavika in the shotgun out of the split eye. Hands off to Payson Rogers. He has a 1st down. Gets tackled on the big Field of Dreams logo at the Trojan 45-yard line on the right hash. And that's a gain of 6, and they'll move the chains. 4 carries, 19 yards for Rogers tonight on the Uno stat update.
Well, one of the hallmarks of the Trojan offense this year has been excellent blocking by the offensive line, and they got a nice hole on that one, so they moved the chains.
Teams that are out of town, Oñate leads Hobbs 12-0. Couple of missed extra points for the Knights up in Albuquerque. At last report, it was Rio Rancho 3. Las Cruces 0 after the Bulldogs had a TD called back due to a penalty. Here, it's Mayfield 3, Alamogordo 2 on the Jack Key scoreboard at the end of the 1st quarter. Trojan football continues in a minute.
Sponsors are La Posta de Mesilla, Little Tumbleweeds Daycare, Los Altos Ranch Market, and Sports Accessories.
Welcome back to LCPS TV in here in lovely Las Cruces, New Mexico. It is still a beautiful night for the Mayfield and Alamogordo game. The score has been stayed relatively low because of lots of flags on the play against Mayfield.
That's right, but even though the score is still pretty low, that is not stopping both student sections from going crazy. There's actually a really good contingent of fans that have come over from Alamo, so we're all excited to see what will happen in the next quarter.
Jim, overall.
Kavika Johnson on the quarterback keeper. Marcelo Barrientos on the tackle. Gain of 7. Here comes 2nd down.
Take the handoff to the fly sweep man, moving left to right in front of him, and then went to the left himself and got a nice 7-yard gain with good blocking up front.
2nd down and 3 for the Trojans. The ball is at the Tiger 47-yard line. Johnson hands off. Rogers coming right, and he is taken down at the 44-yard line. That was Nance, actually. That was not Rogers. Can hardly see his number because his jersey's kind of rolled up on his gear that's on his back, but he has a 1st down at the 44, gain of 3 for Vance.
Well, Mayfield, if they're getting their offensive rhythm, then they're really tough to stop. And, of course, the hallmark of that is when they get that great push up front. It's very hard for other teams to get penetration into the Mayfield backfield.
2 tight ends, 1st and 10 for Mayfield at the Tiger 44. Bring Tingen the split end into the formation, and then they run some option, and Kavika Johnson pulls it out of the fullback's belly and carries around left end, picks up about 7 down to the 37-yard line.
I think our friend Mark Hartshorn likes that 2 tight end stuff. Anything that represents power football, I think, is part of his favorite stuff.
He certainly doesn't like anything interesting like the spread.
Well, and you guys are right. Mayfield's coming out in completely different formations than they had in the entire 1st quarter. This is more of their, what I would call their base offense. So going back to basics for Mayfield.
2nd down and 3 for the Trojans. The ball's at the Tiger 37-yard line. Counter. Payson Rogers going left. Gaping hole. 30-25. Picks up a block downfield and then kind of runs into that block, and the play ends at the 20. What a gaping hole on the counter. Gain of 17. They really cleared that one out.
And that's the key words, gaping hole. When the Mayfield offense is clicking, it's because the offensive line is getting a great push, and that time they created the proverbial hole wide enough to run a truck through.
That was a gaper. Not only was it wide, but they knocked him off the ball about 6 or 7 yards. 10-10 to play in the half. It's 3-2 Mayfield. 1st and 10 at the Tiger 20-yard line. Twins set to the right. They're going to run it that way as they pitch it to Vance. Vance cuts it up. He's got the 10. He's got the 5. I think he's in. Touchdown. Touchdown Mayfield. Vance with some good goodness. He's just a sophomore. Takes it 20 yards for the TD.
Well, that whole drive, you can give credit to the Mayfield offensive line, whether it be the left side, the right side. They created great openings for whether it be Kavika Johnson or Vance or whoever was carrying the ball. Their job was a lot easier because of what the line accomplished.
9:55 to play until halftime.
And Greg, you're right. Mayfield's offensive line is their strength, and so basically they like to where they can get and run the ball and do these little counters and stuff. And so just great job, big hole there for the score.
Snap is good, hold is good. Franco's boot is through. Mayfield 10, Alamogordo 2. 9:55 to play in the Jack Key scoreboard. Back in a minute.
The Bulldogs, Trojan and Knight.
On the Jack Key scoreboard, tonight's game brought to you by the Las Cruces McDonald's. We thank them at the several locations around town for bringing you Trojan football tonight. Knights were up in Hobbs, the Bulldogs are down in Rio Rancho, and the Trojans are up here at home. Centennial won last night. As we spin you around town, Franco to boot it away for the Trojans, and it's a squibber, and it's caught at the 10. Tigers to the 15, Tigers to the 20, to the 25, and up to about the 28 before the momentum starts taking him back. So the Alamogordo takes over at the 29. 9:47 to play in the second quarter, and it's an 8-point game, so it's still a one-score game.
Well, it seems wherever I look on Alamogordo's team, they've got an athlete. They've got showing a lot of speed. They've got some size up front, and so this is not going to be an easy night for the Trojans.
So it's 1st and 10. The ball is at the Tiger 29-yard line. Good snap to Hooper, drops to pass, fires right side, complete at the 40, 45, up to the 46-yard line goes Segura. First down after a gain of 17.
And that's what they have to do, that quick hitter. You know, if you're going to be in a shotgun formation, receive it, rise up and hit your receiver and not hold it back there for 4 and 5 seconds, because you're not going to have 4 and 5 seconds.
9:35 to play until halftime. Mayfield 10, Alamogordo 2 on the Jack Key scoreboard. 1st and 10 for the Tigers at their own 45.5-yard line. Ball's on the eastern hash. Good snap to Hooper. Pass caught, and he's taken down immediately as Graham. Carrera on the good coverage, and it's a gain of 3.
Yeah, if you're going to give up a pass, you want to make sure they don't get a lot of runs after catch. Rack, they call it. And as soon as he caught it, he went down, so it's just a minimal gain, 3 yards.
Update in Hobbs. Hobbs has scored a touchdown, 12-7. Oñate still leads.
Yeah, those missed extra points will come back to haunt you, that's for sure. 2nd down and 7. Back to pass is Hooper. He's going long, far sideline. What a catch at the Trojan 28-yard line. Segura made the catch. The Trojan defender, Riley Folkman, was there, but it was just a great catch.
Well, I am very impressed with the athletes that Alamogordo is putting on the field. There was an outstanding catch there. We see a lot of speed all over, and they've got potentially a very good football team there.
No longer in the district, or this game would be happening in 4 or 5 weeks from now. This is a non-district affair, but it'll affect the seeding in the postseason. 1st and 10 at the Trojan 28-yard line. Hooper, just a sophomore, back to the air, gets a push from the Trojan defense and throws it away down at the 12. It's incomplete.
Yeah, that play did not have enough time to develop to do what they wanted on it. And we don't want to beat a dead horse, but it looks to me like Alamogordo, if they're going to run with these sets and these plays, they've got to make quick decisions and get the ball out of Hooper's hands.
Barrientos wide to the left. Graham in a slot to the left. Ramirez also wide to the left for the Tigers. And they'll put it on the ground. Trojans all over this play defensively as Hicks takes the handoff and is going to lose a couple to the Trojan 30-yard line. And Matheson on the stop for the Trojans. It's a loss of 2. 3rd and 12. 7:58 to play until halftime. Mayfield by 8. Tigers face with 3rd and 12 at the Trojan 30. Trojans rush 6. Hooper gets rid of it and overthrows it as he panicked. He had Hicks as a check down against the blitz, and he threw a 92-mile-per-hour fastball nowhere near the target because he was kind of outside the contain.
Yeah, he had 3 receivers running deep, and then he had a safety release, as Jeff described, coming out of the backfield. That's where he tried to go, out to his left, but he was receiving some pressure and overthrew the receiver.
He's going to go back and look at that film, and he's going to kick himself because number 84 for Alamogordo had broken completely free. Nobody was within 15 yards of him, and he was standing at the goal line with nobody around him, so just couldn't get the ball out there.
That's Hunter Graham, who's slot left here. They're going to go for it on 4th and 12 at the Trojan 30. Hooper takes the snap. Trojans get in there on him, and Hooper just throws it away. That should be intentional grounding. They're not going to call intentional grounding, but it was 4th and 12, so the Trojans will get the ball at their own 30-yard line.
Yeah, I think the reason they're going to pass on the intentional grounding is because he was being tackled while he was throwing the ball, and so that would have distorted the pass just because he was on his way down.
There was no receivers anywhere near him. So the Trojans stop him on downs. They're up 8. And the Trojans start this drive at the Mayfield 30-yard line. Hooper's missed on his last 3 passes now. 1st and 10 for Mayfield from at their own 30. Kavika's going deep for Figueroa, and Figueroa has it knocked away at the Tiger 40-yard line. Nicholas Reyes with the nice defensive play to knock it away from him. Kavika Johnson's 2 for 6 for 54 yards on the Uno stat update and missed on his last 4 passes.
Yeah, that pass a little bit underthrown. Isaac Figueroa had to try to come back for the ball, and the defender had him pretty well covered and just stuck a hand up in and knocked it down as it was coming in.
Alvarado comes wide to the right. Tingen goes wide to the left. It's 2nd down and 10 for the Trojans from their own 30, and the eye out of the gun. Handoff to, faked it to Payson Rogers. Should have let him keep it. Kavika is hit a yard downfield, fights for 2 to the 32. I think the Payson Rogers option was better than the one Kavika ended up keeping it on that right read. 3rd down and 8.
Well, I will say that the Alamogordo defense is about 3 times better than what they were a year ago. Pretty much everything worked against them a year ago, but they've got a lot more maturity this year. You got good athletes, and they are getting to where they need to be.
Well, 2nd year of his program. Don't know how much he could get in the offseason after his 1st year. And his son was a freshman, and he didn't start his son at quarterback. And that was one of their problems, if you remember last year, is they really didn't have the quarterback to run this spread. 3rd down and 8 for the Trojans at their own 32. Good snap back to Kavika Johnson. Is protected. Fires underneath. Man's wide open. 1st down 40. 45 tight into the 50. And he's cut down at the Tiger 48-yard line as they went underneath the Ben Masavias. And nobody covered him.
Well, very good call against that particular defense. Of course, they didn't know how many were coming, but Alamogordo came with 6 guys, and so the linebackers were gone, and when the tight end was crossing underneath, there was nobody there to pick him up.
6:38 to play until halftime. It's 10-2. Mayfield with the lead on the Jack Key scoreboard. Figueroa, Prieto go wide to the left. Vance also wide to the left. So those are the 3 wide receivers to the left side. 2 tight ends for the Trojans. 4 down linemen for the Tigers. Now the Trojans have the tight end go in motion. That gives them a big advantage in numbers to the left side. Kavika cuts it back to the weak side, 45-40, 35, collared down at the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 18. Well, they've got heavy to the left, and I think it was probably designed to go left, but once Kavika got going, he saw the daylight to the right, which was the weak side, and he found a lot of running room there, 18 yards.
Well, that's just a series of good things for Mayfield there. They had, like you said, heavy to the left, and Alamogordo was actually slanting to the left side. And so basically once Kavika saw daylight to the right, there was nobody out there to cover him. So good job of Mike Johnson of really reading that play.
1st and 10 for Mayfield at the Tiger 30-yard line. Tigers bring a safety up on a slot, so they're safetyless right now. On 1st and 10 for the Trojans at the Tiger 30-yard line. Kavika Johnson runs option, pitches it off to Payson Rogers. Rogers turns the corner and goes down at the 26-yard line. It's a gain of 4. 7 carries, 49 yards for Johnson. Rogers with 6 carries and 40 yards on the Uno stat update. 5:18 to play until halftime.
Well, based on what I'm saying, I think if the Trojans decided they just wanted to go exclusively on the ground and let their line do the job up front, they could probably win this game just that way.
Isaac Figueroa comes wide to the right. Prieto slot right for the Trojans. Split eye in the backfield. And a handoff to Payson Rogers, a gaping hole. He's hit at the 20 and falls forward to the 16 for a gain of 10.
Well, it's great when you're a ball carrier and you know you're not going to get contact until 5 or 6 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. That once again, we give credit to the Mayfield offensive line on that play that moved the chains.
Guys, 2 developments in our other games going around the state. Las Cruces High, 77-yard touchdown pass to cut the lead to 10-7 for Cruces against Alamogordo, and a power outage at Hobbs has left Oñate and Hobbs suspended at this point.
They're in the dark. Hand off to Payson Rogers. Nope, Kavika keeps, and Kavika carries to the 14, picks up just a yard. Bulldogs have scored, Brent.
Yeah, and what's even actually crazy is on Twitter they just posted a picture of the stands there in Hobbs, and it's packed. The lights are out, and all you see is a bunch of cell phones, and it says it's the student section of Hobbs with all their cell phones out, and it's really an interesting picture. If you get a chance, check it out on Twitter.
I'll have to do that later.
You're busy now?
I got the few things going. 2nd down and 9. Kavika Johnson hands off to Payson Rogers. Bounces it right. He's got the 10. He's got the 5, and he's in. Touchdown, Mayfield. Payson Rogers, a 14-yard TD run.
And one Alamogordo defender very upset with himself for not blowing that play up at the beginning. Let him get away and ended up as a touchdown.
16-2, the Trojans lead it on the Jack Key scoreboard. 3:54 to play until halftime. So the PAT attempt forthcoming, and the boot is away, and the kick is good. Mayfield 17. Alamogordo 2 on the Jack Key scoreboard. 3:54 to play until halftime. Back in a minute. This is Trojan football.
Your budget is like your game.
Line, Barrientos. So the Tigers are on the board because of a safety, and that was Mayfield miscue. They snapped it over the punter's head into the end zone. So that was a freebie for Alamogordo. They haven't been able to score offensively, though they've moved it a little bit. They have 95 yards passing, -7 yards rushing.
Well, one reason you have a miscue on your punts is you never get to practice your punting because Mayfield rarely punts.
1st and 10 for the Tigers from the Tiger 29-yard line. Hooper, wide receiver screen complete. 35, Segura to the 40. Comes outside the numbers left to the 45 to the 50 and knocked out of bounds on the western sideline at the 45-yard line of Mayfield.
Well executed play. Lou Holtz always feels that's the toughest play in football to defend because you got because the pass is behind the line of scrimmage, the lineman can be downfield, and it was well executed that time.
3:38 to play until halftime. 1st and 10 Tigers at the Trojan 45-yard line. Hooper back to pass. Gets a pass rush rolling right. Gets hit as he throws it, and there's nobody over there. This could be intentional grounding. We do have a penalty marker down in the secondary because there's a lineman about 25 yards downfield. That was clearly supposed to be some kind of a screen. And for Alamogordo, number 63, Nathaniel Knoll, was back there with the Trojan safeties running a route. Well, he wasn't running a route. He was down there to block. But, and when they threw the flag, he turned around and was like, who, me? What did I do? And then I think he's realized now that the play didn't really work as planned. He didn't really do anything wrong, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
And the Mayfield players looking to the sideline, do you want us to take the penalty or the incomplete pass? And the coaching staff says take the penalty.
So that moves the Tigers back to midfield, but it's still 1st down. 1st and 15 at the 50-yard line with 3:32 to play in the half. Trojans 17, Alamogordo 2. First and 15 for the Tigers at midfield. Good snap. Hooper back to pass, and he has a pass rush, and he's going to be sacked again. He stepped up into it, looking to run, and putting an end to that was Dominic Trujillo for Mayfield. Loss of 2 and the 3rd sack of the evening for the Trojans.
Well, the Mayfield offensive line is a run line, and the Alamogordo offensive line is a pass line. And so it's a very much different approach to what they've got to do on their assignments.
Especially because Mayfield's been switching it up. They'd have the guy covering the slot. He's come in on some plays, meaning he's blitzing from that slot position. And with a defensive tackle covering the offensive tackle, it's tough for that back to come across and make that block. And so Mayfield's getting pressure that way.
2nd and 18 for the Tigers. Hooper fires right side. The pass tipped by Matheson. It was intended for Ramirez. And it's 3rd down now and 17 for the Tigers. 17 passes thrown by Hooper. 9 of 17 for 120 yards.
Same play that just went for a big gain a few plays ago, but this time the pass was deflected as it was thrown.
So it's 3rd down and 17. The ball marked for play at the Alamogordo Tiger 47-yard line. 4 wide receivers on 3rd down and 17. Out of the shotgun, good snap to Hooper, and he heaves it long right side. One-on-one coverage over there, and the defender ended up on his wallet. The Tigers are asking for interference, but to me it looked like the receiver pulled down the defender, and they're just going to keep their flags in their pocket, call it an incomplete pass, and it brings up 4th and 18. Brett?
Yeah, and Foreman had inside position there, so he was inside, and once he saw the ball, he started to make a play on the ball, and the Alamogordo receiver kind of came over his back, and so there was contact. There's no doubt about that. However, Foreman did have the inside position, was not trying to keep him from, wasn't holding him back to keep him from having the ball, but basically it was like, boxing out, Greg, like in basketball.
Yeah, and it's 3rd and throwing deep on 3rd and long. It's if they intercept it, it's like a punt.
Trojans bringing people in and out. Tigers have it 4th and 17 at their own 47-yard line. Trojans line up in a conventional defense here. Good snoop to Hooper, and the Trojans block the punt. It's rolling free at the 42-yard line, squirts towards the Trojan goal line and is picked up by one of the linemen for Alamogordo. And he's tackled at the 39. That won't matter. It's Trojan ball at the 39-yard line of Alamogordo. So credit the Trojan special teams for blocking the punt there. Hooper had no chance to get rid of that. I mean, they got in there quick.
Well, and the snap was a little bit high, so that upset the timing of the play.
Alamogordo, every time they punted, the Trojans have come after it, Brad. I think that's something they saw on film that they really thought they could get one this week.
And a lot of that's if the snap isn't crisp and fast, like this one's kind of got an arc to it, that gives enough time for the Mayfield defense to get in there.
1st and 10 for the Trojans at the Tiger 39-yard line. Good snap to Kavika Johnson. He's back to pass, steps up, now gets pressure from the backside, feels it, rolls right, fires upfield to Tingen, incomplete. At the 19, it was low. Kavika's thrown it 8 times. He's 3 for 8 for 74 yards. No TDs and no interceptions. 2:18 to play in the half. 2nd and 10.
Well, I'm a little surprised, and I'm not upset about it because I like to see them throw the ball, but Mayfield can pretty much do what they want on the ground, and I don't know why they don't just wear that out until somebody stops it.
2nd and 10 for Mayfield at the Tiger 39-yard line. Good snap to Johnson. Johnson fires, too tall for Alvarado, who gets his clock cleaned right after it goes through his fingertips. Stretched as far as he could, but it was too tall, and it's now 3rd down and 10 at the Tiger 39. 2:14 to play in the half.
Guys, it's kind of interesting. I'm just watching the ball coming out of Kavika Johnson's hands, and then the receivers from Mayfield trying to catch a ball, and we actually have a timeout on the field, Jeff.
All right. Timeout on the field, a 30-second break here is all, just a 30-second break. 2:14 to play in the half. Mayfield 17, Alamogordo 2, back after this short timeout.
You like Chicken McNuggets, and you like football. When you...
I can't, nobody on the fence line, okay?
They turn it over on 4th down, and they end up getting the ball about 2 yards further back than they would have if you just batted it down.
Don't understand that. I think that they've been just having so much success. Why not a little option there? It's only a 4-yard play. Your offensive line has been blowing them off the ball, so interesting call there.
1st and 10 for the Tigers at their own 32. Hooper looks right, has pressure coming from the backside, and is creamed for another sack at the 31-yard line. Brett Kowalski made the stop. Defensive end came unblocked because they were rolling right, and for whatever reason, Hooper held on to it. And nobody was blocking Kowalski, who just was bearing down on Hooper's blind side.
Yeah, I thought they might be setting up a double pass there because he was definitely, if he was going to release the ball, he was going to throw it behind the line, behind himself to the running back, but he never let go of the ball.
2nd and 12 at the 31-yard line. Good snap. Hooper fires, and the pass docked free. Prieto jarred it free up at the 36-yard line. It was intended for Ramirez. 3 passes in a row that Hooper's missed on, and he's 1 for his last 7. It's 3rd down and 10. That was an Uno stat update for you. In other words, he's not running hot right now. Getting a lot of pressure from the Trojan front 5. 3rd and about 12 from the Tiger 30. 4 wide receivers. They hand off straight ahead. And some running room there for the running back Hicks, but he's not going to get a first down as he goes down at the 40 after a gain of about 10. They needed 12. And so it's 4th and 2.
And Alamogordo may choose to let most of the clock run off. They may even take a intentional 5-yard penalty here just to make sure the clock is gone.
Well, Trojans have timeouts if they want to use it.
Yeah, why is Mayfield not calling timeout to at least try to force a punt or to punt and then block it?
Yeah, they just blocked the punt. It's kind of letting them off the hook here, isn't it? So the Trojans will take some timeouts to the locker room unless... Well, the Tigers end up taking a timeout with 4 seconds to play in the half. That's really curious.
Well, they may choose to just run around with it in the backfield for 4 seconds as opposed to punting the ball.
Well, I imagine the reason they took the timeout was they were getting ready to get a delay a game, but who cares about that? I mean, I don't know. Well, I guess at 4th and 2. I don't know. Brad, I can't figure it out.
I would never second guess Coach Bradley, so I'm not going to say anything.
Well, I'm not so much second guessing him. Why Alamogordo here?
Right.
With the timeout. What's the big deal on a delay a game? Of course, you're gonna either way. You're going to the locker room with timeouts in your pocket, so I guess who cares? Huh?
Right. I'm just still surprised Mayfield didn't call a timeout there because like I said, you blocked the punt, and even if you allow Alamogordo to run around now here, I don't know. I think it's. I don't know. I have no
There was
comment.
about 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, it was actually 29 seconds to go.
Perhaps 17-2 sounds pretty good to him right now. So the Tigers come out on 4th and 2 at their own 40, and they're going to line up and run a play. Maybe they got a trick up their sleeve here.
Well, a long pass down the field will take 4 seconds. So.
And they hand it off. Hicks bounces it out to the right. The half will expire as Hicks tackled out of bounds at the 47. He picked up, about 7.
Hi, I'm here with Kayla Shea, Mayfield's cheerleading captain. Kayla, how's the game going?
It's going really well. I'm really proud of the Mayfield Trojans, and everybody has really put a lot of effort into this game, and I think that we'll pull out a win.
How do you think the team's doing so far?
I think that they're doing really, really well. I mean, we're 17-2, so that means that they've obviously been doing pretty good. I'm really excited to see what the band and the cheer and pom girls do during halftime, and it's going to be fun.
All right, thank you, Kayla. Back to you guys.
They have 6 yards rushing.
But it's
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Mayfield High School Trojan Marching Band. Under the direction of Carlos Aguero and Britta Willard, tonight is a special performance for Mayfield High School. We'd like to welcome 8th graders, band members from Picacho, Sierra Vista Middle School. The 8th grade students were performing with the Trojan Marching Band in the stands, but are also here to enjoy this halftime performance. Remember to take a moment to visit the concession stands for refreshments. Proceeds go to the band, and the workers are all band here. Please support them. drum majors, Luis Roybal and Gabriela Alvarez. Is your band ready? Mayfield High School, you may take the field for halftime entertainment.
I think Mayfield's the place to go, huh? I think so.
That would make me sell more if I took it in
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome your Mayfield Varsity Cheer and Dance Program. The cheer program is coached by Amberly Ginchet and Felicia Herrera. The dance program is coached by Nicole Gomez and Jacqueline Pata. Mayfield Varsity Cheer and Dance. Mayfield fans, please direct your attention towards the 50-yard line for the presentation of Mayfield's Teacher of the Week. Alexis Black is in her 16th year of teaching. This is her 3rd year of teaching at Mayfield. Alexis teaches biology, honors biology, and AP biology. Mrs. Black is married to David Black, and they have 2 boys, Nathan, who is 5, and Wyatt, who is 3 1/2. Ms. Black's hobbies include reading, gardening, playing with the boys, hiking, and eating chocolate. Whose is it? Presenting the Teacher of the Week plaque to Alexis Black are board members Sheila Mathiasen, Alicia Swinson, Annette Kowalski, and Brenda Fulton. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause for the Teacher of the Week at Mayfield High School, Alexis Black. Scoring updates at the half.
We'll be right back.
We'll get to the score in a second. And please welcome back the visitor, Alamogordo. Scoring update. The lights are back on in Hobbs, and Hobbs leads 13-12 in the second quarter. Then to half in Rio Rancho. Rio Rancho leads 10-7. Las Cruces Public Schools Athletics would like to extend its sincere thanks to Las Cruces Orthopedic Associates for their continued support of our athletic program. Doctors Michael McGuire, Dan Romanelli, Paul Size, Lou Williams, David Barrera, and Molly Manley are the primary providers of orthopedic health care and event coverage for the athletes of Centennial, Las Cruces, Oñate, and Mayfield. Thank you for putting our student athletes first.
Who is that? Who? Someone painted.
Again, we'd like to recognize tonight's official. Referee Oscar Paez, linesman Billy Dixon, umpire Julian Amadaka, line judge Tim Hoagie, back judge Luis Salcido. Thank you.
First in the second half, Mayfield outgained Alamogordo 216 to 126, and the Tigers score came on a snap over the punter's head for 2.
Well, Mayfield will receive the ball to begin the second half, and it'll be interesting to see if they go with what's worked for them in the first half, or if they're going to continue to, quote, practice their passing game, because Alamogordo has not shown that they can stop the Mayfield run, and that's they have good running backs, the good carriers of the football, but the offensive line has been the star of the first half.
There's an emergency on the Trojan sideline. There's a doctor, a literal doctor, and an ambulance, and a man down, or a kid down. I'm not sure if it's a band member or who, but they had the stethoscope out, and somebody not feeling well on the Trojan sideline that is not a member of the football team. I don't know if it's a band member, or a security person, or if it's a kid or an adult, but they've got the ambulance gurney over there, and they're working on assisting the person that is down on the Trojan sideline that is not an athlete.
Jeff,
and I think it might be a band member, but I'm not certain.
And it's been a rough one. During pregame warm-ups, one of the cheerleaders from Mayfield actually fell, and they had to escort her off into the ambulance as well. So it's been a rough one for the Mayfield fans tonight.
My hunch is, and I don't want to scare anybody, but I think it might be a band member.
Well, and certainly appropriate that they not try to start the game until they have all this cleared up, and him safely in a safe environment.
Looks like it's a young lady. And I don't want to, just it looks like they're kind of out of it. Just not real coherent. Eyes are open, but I'll just leave it at that. And hopefully they'll get some fluids in that person, and that's all it is. That's what I'm hoping. So a hand for the youngster is, I think it's a band member, but again, I'm not even certain of that.
It was actually, I got an update. It is one of the band members, but like I said, it looks like it might have been some dehydration. Like I said, it's pretty humid down here, guys, from what we're used to here in the desert Southwest.
So we get ready for the third quarter. Trojans to get it first. And Alamogordo set to kick off to Mayfield. The score, the Trojans 17, the Tigers 2. And we're waiting for the official's whistle to get the second half underway, and we're close. So teeing it up for Alamogordo is Alex Ramirez. They have not kicked to the Trojans yet tonight. So this will be the first time we see Ramirez's boot and what Alamogordo does in their kicking game. Ramirez doesn't take a long run at it. He's only lined up 3 yards behind the ball, and here is his boot. It's kind of a short end-over-end pooch kick that hits at the 29, and the Tigers grab it, and it's Tiger football. Tiger football at their own, rather at the Trojan 25-yard line. That was a great kick.
Well, I think the Mayfield receiver assumed that the ball was going to go out of bounds because it was at an angle that it was headed out of bounds, but it hit the back of the football and bounced straight up in the air. And so Mayfield, and the Mayfield player could have played it. He thought it was going to go out of bounds, so he let it go, and instead a Tiger recovered it.
Well, you knew something was coming because he didn't take a long run at it. And
Mayfield knew something was up because the receivers were standing at the 20-yard line.
They just didn't get the ball. So it's 1st and 10 for the Tigers at the Trojan 25-yard line. Hooper sends Ramirez in motion. And then Hooper hands it off to Hicks at right tackle, and Hicks fights to the 23 for a gain of 2. That almost looked like an Arena League motion by their slot, who came in motion 10, 15 yards behind the Tiger line of scrimmage. That was kind of a strange looking motion.
Brad, do you see a lot of advantage to no huddle approach to offense?
When you consider that Mayfield and Las Cruces are like the only teams in the state that actually huddle, and they tend to be the top teams in the state, I don't see much of an advantage.
Okay.
2nd down and 8 for the Tigers at the Trojan 23-yard line. Slot comes in motion, fake a handoff to him. Hooper going up top, lobs, double coverage out there, pass broken up at the 3. It's incomplete, intended for Isaiah Saldana, and it's 3rd down and 8.
Well, that was a pass where you're just going to trust your receiver to go make a play because he was throwing it up in traffic, and he was fortunate it was not intercepted because there were more defenders there in the area where the ball came down than there was a single receiver.
17-2. Mayfield leads it on the Jack Key scoreboard. 3rd and 8 for the Tigers at the Trojan 23. Back to pass is Hooper. Hooper dumps it off to Hicks and misfires, incomplete. Pressure got to him again, and he misfired on a short little check down, and it's 4th and 8. I'm sure they'll go for it. What a blow this would be to them to get their basically pooch kick and start a possession at the Trojan 25 and only move it a yard or 2.
Yeah, Kyle Hooper, and they are going to actually huddle here before this call, but Kyle Hooper loses a lot of his accuracy when he's on the run. As I say, I like to see a guy who can throw the ball accurately on the run, but he is not doing that. He's basically a set your feet kind of passer.
4th and 8. They go with 5 wide receivers in a trick formation with only a center and 2 guards, and they throw it down, and the ball's juggled. Did he catch it? Yes, says the side judge. It's a touchdown.
Well, it was a great catch.
Ramirez with the catch.
Great catch, fully extended out, and he was horizontal when he caught the ball, and probably the best play we've seen tonight by either team. And as I said, Alamogordo has shown that they've got a lot of athletes on their team.
Alamogordo actually had 2 options there with the trick formation. They had a tight end lineup as a guard who was uncovered. He went right down the middle of the field uncovered. Big break for Alamo. That ball actually popped out when he got to when he hit the end zone. So
timeout.
Yeah, the back judge really needed to help out the head linesman there because I saw what you did, Brad. The ball popped out. But the back judge wasn't really in position, and the side judge had to run 25 yards downfield, so he was trailing the play by 15 yards. And I don't know that he had a good look at it from there, and that's high school officiating right there.
And there's not going to be a phone call to New York to find out what they saw back there.
No, the only 2 people that saw it bounce were myself and Michael and David Bradley, Michael's son, who are standing in the end zone next to me. So we both have Mayfield shirts on, so I don't think they're listening to us.
25-yard pass on 4th and 8. Well, it's a 23-yard pass actually on 4th and 8. 25-yard drive, and it's 17-8. Mayfield with the lead. 11:05 to play in the 3rd quarter. So the Tigers get a big play on 4th and 8. They come out with unconventional formation with a center and 2 guards and players all over the place. Kind of almost like an extra point trick formation a little bit, which we see their swinging gate here as they're going to go for 2 from the 3-yard line. And they snap it back to Hooper. The Trojans get in on him and pummel him, and the pass is incomplete at the 1. So the 2-point play fails. It's Mayfield 17, Alamogordo 8, 11:01 to play in the third quarter. On the Jack Key scoreboard, Trojan football continues after this.
Hi, my name is Vanessa. I am the sales coordinator.
A scoring update from up north. In the third quarter, Rio Rancho leads Las Cruces 17-7.
Alamogordo recovered a free kick on the kickoff to start the second half. Scored on 4th and 8. And they trail it by 9 down to the Tigers. Meanwhile, Brad has an update from up in Rio Rancho.
Rio Rancho just scored on a long option run, making the score 17-7, up 10 on Las Cruces High. So not looking good right now for the Bulldogs, who are minus some of their key players, but that's still no excuse. They're still playing the game.
I thought that they would be higher scoring than this up there.
Yeah, I think everybody said the overrun was going to be like 90.
Same type of kick from Ramirez. Fair catch called for and taken by Escalera. And the Trojans get it 1st and 10 at their own 37.
Once again, that kick is headed out of bounds, but Escalera did not take it.
So we're here at the Field of Dreams with Cheyenne and Amy. They are our Mayfield Impact Color Guard captains. I want to go ahead and ask you, what is your favorite thing about Color Guard?
Well, my favorite thing about Color Guard is just performing and being able to wear these beautiful costumes.
So you really do like the costumes. When did you just got them, right?
Yes, this is our first time performing in them.
Oh, how exciting. And can you tell us a little bit about this year's show? I know it's like gypsy themed. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, so the show is entitled Gypsy Dances, and it's the music of John Fannin. It focuses on dancing and the guard. It's really focused around us, so it makes it really exciting to perform.
Anything else you want to tell everyone out there?
No, just come and watch us.
Awesome. And Amy, anything else you want to say to everyone? Great. Well, best of luck at your first competition in a couple of weeks. You guys look great. Thanks so much for your time tonight. For now, we're going to send it back out to the field.
Good job, good work up front.
Guys, big play here for Mayfield in this third down. Alamogordo's got a lot of momentum. They got a really good fan contingent here, and so they're making a lot of noise. So big play here for Mayfield.
3rd down and 3 for the Trojans from their own 44-yard line. And the Trojans going left with Payson Rogers. 1st down as he's across midfield to the Tiger 49. That is a gain of 7. 1st down, Trojans.
Now, my philosophy would be, let's see if they can stop our ground attack. They haven't done it in the first half. We stopped ourselves with some passes, but they haven't stopped our ground attack. Trust our offensive line to do what you did so well in the first half.
So it's 1st and 10 for Mayfield. The ball at the Tiger 49-yard line. Out of the eye with Kavika Johnson behind center. Fakes a fullback handoff and then keeps, bounces it out 45-40. Down the sideline 35-30, stops and steps out of bounds at the 28 and then stiff arms the defender out of bounds. and on his wallet without going down himself, and that's a big gain of 21 yards.
Another play that we saw in the first half, and designed run all the way, quarterback keeper all the way, not an option pass or run, just following his blockers, and Kavika turned it into another first down.
Brad, that was Mayfield circa 1997 or something there. That was midline option, wasn't it?
That really was the midline straight little option to the right.
Don't see a lot of it from Mayfield anymore, but they ran the midline option, which was big in the Ray Alderete years. Option left side for Kavika. He'll keep, and he is hit and pinballed around as he gets to the 25-yard line, gain of 3. Explain, I guess, Brad, if you would, the midline option is really kind of pulled that out of the old bag of offense.
Absolutely, and I think with the offensive line performing the way they are currently, I think that's a great option. The downside is you got such an athletic quarterback with Kavika Johnson. It's kind of hard to tell him, hey, you got to run here and you got to pitch or not if you don't have the look you want.
And the fullback either kind of takes the ball, but if he doesn't get the ball, he acts as a blocker on a linebacker. Kavika to throw on 2nd and 7, wide open is Figueroa, but the pass is low and incomplete at the 20. Would have been a gain of about 5, but it was a terrible pass. And it's 3rd down.
Well, it seems to me that Mayfield is passing just to prove that they can pass. They're not doing it because they need to do it. Their ground attack is what has been most successful for them tonight, but it's like, and we've talked about it in other years, sometimes coaches can outsmart themselves.
So it's 3rd down, 7 to go for Mayfield. The ball is at the Tiger 25-yard line. Johnson out of the pistol. Rogers in the backfield with him. And Kavika gives it to Payson Rogers, another gaping hole at left end. He's across the 20, down to the 15, down to the 14. It's a gain of 11. Nobody touched him till he was 7 yards downfield.
Yeah, and Payson does a good job of changing direction, stop and start, and running to daylight, and moves the chains.
So it's 1st and 10. The ball is at the Tiger 14-yard line with 8:29 to play in the 3rd quarter, and the Trojans are up 9. Figueroa comes wide to the right for Mayfield on 1st and 10 at the Tiger 14. Eye out of the gun. Hand off to Payson Rogers on that counter, and they've got him whipped on the left side again. He's across the 10, he's across the 5, and down to the 3-yard line. Gain of 11 more.
Well, how big of a hole do you need to run through? I mean, it's about 5 yards wide when he gets to the line of scrimmage. The left side of the line there is just opening that play up easy, so to make it an easy run for whether it be Payson Rogers or Isaac Vance. Anybody who's going through that way is going to get through that hole.
1st and goal for Mayfield at the Tiger 3-yard line. 2 tight ends. Backs are in the bone. Tingen breaks the bone and goes wing right. And they hand off, and Payson Rogers is in behind right tackle. It's a 3-yard run for Rogers, his 2nd TD of the night, and the Trojans have answered the Tiger TD. They go 63 yards, Brett.
And Mayfield's just done a great job. The last 2 plays, what they did is they ran their X over set. They moved their tackle over and had their tight end functioning as a tackle. Alamogordo was slanting to the X over side, and Mayfield was running that counter back behind him, and that's what's basically collapsing the entire side of that Alamogordo defensive line.
I mean, they're just whipping them up front. It is gaping holes in the running game. Good snap. Hold is good, kick is good by Franco. 24-8. Mayfield with the lead on the Jack Key scoreboard. 7:48 to play in the 3rd quarter. Back in a minute.
The Bulldogs, Trojan and Knight Radio Network would like to say thank you to Kevin McGrath.
Welcome back. It's 24-8, Mayfield with the lead. 7:48 to play in the third quarter. And the Trojans in their bunch formation, and they approach the ball and now back up and line up in a traditional kickoff coverage formation. Brad, what are they going to do out of that if they ever do anything? Just a little...
They'll come across and just try to onside it with everybody bull rushing and hoping the ball goes 10 yards and somebody picks it up. We'll see that sometime this year.
Line drive kick caught at the 3, 5. Tigers to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. That's Barrientos across the 25, and he gets it out just shy of the 30. 28 is where they'll plop it. Injured Trojan on the play. One of the Trojans getting up slowly and limping off. Looks like that's Aguilera, the senior. 7:43 to play in the third quarter. And the Trojans lead at 24-8 on the Jack Key scoreboard. 1st and 10 for Alamogordo. And back to the spread they go. Hooper out of the gun, looks right, rolls right, fires right, complete to Ramirez, hit right away, driven out of bounds. Forward progress is the 33. It's a gain of 4.
Well, the interesting thing here to see in the second half is, can Alamogordo do a better job of protecting Hooper, or is he going to do a better job of making decisions and getting rid of the ball more quickly, because he can't give up 4 sacks again this half.
2nd down and 5 for the Tigers from the Tiger 34-yard line. Twin receivers to each side. The wide side of the field to the left for the Tigers. Trojans in their radar defense. Hooper back to pass, has pressure, gets rid of it and throws it away, out of bounds, incomplete.
Well, Hooper loses a lot if you can flush him out of the pocket and make him throw on the run. Brad, tell us about that defense where they play their line three yards off the line of scrimmage.
Yes, that's something just to mess with the offensive line. Everybody's trying to make their calls and who they're going to block, and Mayfield's standing there just trying to see what's going on. We see that Mayfield do this a lot with teams that like to throw the short passes and like to throw the ball around so that they mix up the coverage and try to take advantage of some miscommunication up front with the offensive line.
That was unveiled back in 2002 when Matt Montoya was the Las Cruces High quarterback and the Bulldogs had such a proficient passing game. 3rd down and 5. Hooper gets rid of it fast. It's tipped at the line of scrimmage. It's in the air. The receiver has a chance at it but can't come up with it. After it was tipped, it's incomplete. And it's 4th down and 5 for the Tigers. But I remember seeing the Tennessee Titans do something like that. And then Mayfield, I think, maybe influenced a little bit by the NFL's Titans, used it against the Bulldogs and Matt Montoya. And you know what? It did slow Montoya and the Bulldogs down, but the Bulldogs won the game anyway. But it was an effective defense for the Trojans because, correct me if I'm wrong, Brad, as a Tiger is down, it really gives the offensive lineman a tough time because now the defensive linemen, instead of being down and stationary at the snap of the ball, they're all standing up, they're moving around, you're not sure who's coming from where, and they're 3 yards away from you, so you can't really get your paws on them right away.
Right, and they get a nice little run at you if you're going to pass the whole time. And the way you combat that is try to run a draw or some type of quick-hitting play up the middle. So if I'm Alamogordo at this point, next time I see that radar offense, I'm going to try to call a really quick-hitting dive play up front and try to allow for the fact that they're giving you 3 free yards up the middle. But once again, that's not really in Alamogordo's repertoire. We haven't seen, I think we've seen 1 handoff the entire night.
Yeah, and they have 6 yards rushing. But they also have 4 sacks that have taken yards away from their rushing game. But even if you took away the sack yards, they have 24 yards rushing. So they're not having a big rushing night. Doesn't seem to be a big part of this offense.
And I think to get to the point where they compete with the best teams in the state, they need to complement their passing game with a better running game.
4th down and 5. And the boot is away by Hooper. He's a good punter. And he boots it away from Rogers and pins it over on the far sideline. Or it's downed at the 32 after it took a Trojan bounce. So good punt. Mayfield starts off at their own 32-yard line, 6:56 to play in the third quarter, and you get the feeling like Mayfield could probably overwhelm Alamogordo with the ground game, but they're still mixing in the pass for whatever reason.
They really are, and then when you look at Alamogordo going forward, Alamogordo's going to win a bunch more games this year. I mean, when they look at playing Clovis, playing Carlsbad, and playing Hobbs, they're going to beat and really be competitive in those games for sure. So they're going to get 6-7 wins this year.
First and 10 for the Trojans from their own 32-yard line. Johnson coming right, 35, bounces it outside 40, 45. Stiff arms a Tiger down and goes out of bounds at the Tiger 49-yard line. That was a dominating run by Kavika Johnson.
Yeah, whenever they've run just Kavika Johnson wide right, they've made big gains, and Alamogordo is going to have to make some adjustments in their defensive set if they're going to stop that play.
Johnson averaging 8.9 yards a carry tonight. First and 10 for the Trojans at the Tiger 49-yard line. Out of the eye in the shotgun. Counter play to Payson Rogers going left. That's Vance. Vance at the 45 to the 40, 35 to the 30, 25 down to the 23. Gain of 26.
Vance not a big player, only 5'6", 130, but he showed that he could finish a run. He's a strong little guy for a guy that size. Of course, we knew he's fast and elusive, but he also showed he could finish a run there.
Great hands by Vance there too, Greg. He was juggling the ball the entire time he had it. He didn't get a clean handoff from Johnson that time, and good hands on his part.
First and 10 for the Trojans at the Tiger 23-yard line. Good snap to Johnson. He and Nance are battling over the ball as they hit the hole together. Nance finally lets go of it and lets Kavika get credit for the 6 yards he could have had, because they really was, if we were in court, that would have been a joint custody deal. Make it second down at the 17. First down yardage is the 13, so it's 2nd and 4 after a gain of 6 by Nance and Johnson together, as they both carried the ball in unison on the right read. Nance didn't really let go of it, and Kavika wouldn't let go of it. 2nd down and 4. Johnson to the air. He has pressure from the backside, and the pass knocked away at the 5-yard line. Incomplete. So on his last 5 passes, Kavika Johnson's 0 for 5 with an interception.
Yeah, it's interesting that they don't seem to want to stand the prosperity. If they just stay on the ground, Alamogordo is, while they occasionally win a play, they've not shown that they can keep the Trojans from moving the chains or getting across the end zone if they just stay with the ground game.
3rd down and 4 from the 17. Pitch play coming right. That's Nance. Stiff arms a guy, bounces it outside and up the sideline. He's out of bounds. Nope, touchdown. Touchdown, he got in. Nice run by Nance. He's pretty physical for a 140-pounder. 17-yard run, 2 TDs for Vance tonight.
Yeah, he's got a lot of speed and really did a nice job turning in the corner there. But once again, he had a lot of help from his line, as generally speaking, the Trojan running backs tonight or ball carriers are not getting contacted until they're several yards past the line of scrimmage.
I like how I tend to help Onyate on offense, and Greg tends to help Mayfield on offense. And Franco's kick is good. 31-8. Mayfield with the lead. 5:27 to play in the 3rd quarter on the Jack Key scoreboard. Trojan football continues in a minute.
Out of all the good places to eat, there are just a few great places to dine.
What's Vance's first name?
Isaac.
Replay, second down. Pass is complete to Julian Segura. Eric Prieto on the tackle. Gain of 7. Brings up 3rd down.
Let's go, D! Shape it up!
Get those tickets ready. We'll drive right after the extra point. Score 37-8. All right, yellow tickets. 9-3, 2-1, 3-9. 9-3, 2-1, 3-9. You have 7 minutes to get to the press box. But I don't think it's going to take that long.
High school for every transaction.
We have a winner, and it's not me.
Let's go, 5-6!
4:05 to play in the third quarter. The Trojans lead at 37-8. And Matthew Franco to boot it away. Trio of safeties back for the Tigers. One at the 5 in the middle of the field, and then the up men up around the 10 outside on the numbers. And Franco's kick sails towards the eastern hash, bounces twice and grabbed at the 5 to the 10 to the 15. And that's Ramirez out to the 17-yard line, and a flag flies on the tackle. Might have got him by the face mask.
That would be my prediction.
So Alamogordo will punch it out across the 20.
Oh, horse collar.
There's a horse collar. Yeah.
Horse collar. Mayfield.
That's hard. I know that's the penalty, and that is the right call, absolutely, 100% of the time. It's just hard when you got guys who are hustling so hard to just try to grab onto anything and make a play.
Well, yeah, and sometimes you grab that shoulder pad and you're not trying to grab it. You just grab it accidentally.
Well, on top of that, there's no coach ever that chews out a guy for making a horse collar tackle, because you'd rather him make the tackle than not. So it's 1st and 10 for the Tigers at their own 32-yard line. After being intercepted and the Trojan defense scoring, Tigers back out there. Handoff to Ramirez coming left, and he's banged out of bounds. And he picked up maybe a yard, about a yard. That was Ramirez's first carry.
Brad, is it harder to become a good run blocking lineman, or harder to become a more pass blocking lineman?
I think it's harder to be consistently good as a run blocking lineman. As a pass one, you're kind of waiting for the guy to come to you and just kind of keep him in front of you. As a run block, you're trying to push him where you need him to go.
2nd down and 8, and they hand off going right side on a fly series sweep where the slot takes the handoff on the sweep. They get a little bit going right. Barrientos, who has some pretty good speed, turned the corner and picks up 3. So it's 3rd down after 2 running plays, and this is where they look a little deficient in their offense.
Yeah,
it's really hard for them to get yards on the ground.
And you can't trick a team 40 times a game. You can do it once a game, maybe twice, but you can't win with just finesse.
So it's 3rd down and 5 for the Tigers at the Tiger 37. Hooper with play action back to pass, gets hit as he throws, and it's too tall and incomplete. He had Ramirez open, but bearing down on him was Brett Kowalski with a free run at him from the Trojan defensive end spot. And he misfired, and it's not been a good second half for Hooper. He's completed 3 passes in 9 attempts for 33 yards, and he's also been intercepted, and it was taken back for a TD. So the numbers much different in the second half than they were in the first half for Alamogordo sophomore. And he'll be around a couple more years. He'll be a handful as a junior and a senior, no doubt, especially if they have some stuff around him. Snap is low, and the punt is blocked again. And the Trojans pick it up, and now it's in a pile, as they couldn't scoop and score. So they scooped and tried to score and then ended up covering it. And I think it was Kowalski coming up the middle who blocked it. No, Noah Pierce, they're saying over the public address system, but one of the big guys in the 80 numbers.
I think it was Kowalski, though. He did come up the middle, got blocked by the up man, and just stuck his big old arm. I mean, I swear his arm looked like it was 10 feet long there, and he just blocked that punt. So good job by Mayfield. Big rush up the middle.
Well, it looked like a big focus of theirs. They blocked 2 of them tonight. Play action. Kavika Johnson going up top, finds one-on-one coverage, and the pass is incomplete down at the 10-yard line, intended for Noah Pierce, the tight end.
Well, it appears to me at this point they are just trying to work on their passing game, because they know they can go consistently down the field with their ground game and put points on the board, move the chains and so forth, but they're passing just to work on it and get the timing down, and tonight it has not been very successful. Talking about their Mayfield passing game.
Kavika Johnson's thrown it 13 times. He's 0 for 3 in the second half. Trojans to the ground. Payson Rogers going left, now cuts back to the right, to the 20, to the 10, 5, touchdown Mayfield. 32-yard run for Payson Rogers. 3 TDs for Payson Rogers.
And that does move the game into the mercy rule, and so that foils my prediction before the game. But I think that here in the second half, that Alamogordo's become a bit dispirited and realize they're just overmatched.
And there's still 2:49 to play in the third quarter.
I think when you look back at the last 7 Alamogordo possessions, you have a punt blocked, you have halftime, you have a touchdown, then you have a punt, an interception return for a touchdown, and a punt block. So their series aren't going very well the last 7.
That's an understatement. And the point after touchdown this time is good. 44-8 Mayfield, 2:49 to play in the third quarter. Trojan football continues in a minute.
The Bulldogs, Trojan and Knight Radio Network would like to say thank you to Kevin McGrath and his staff over at It's Burger Time for their proud support of high school athletics.
I'm getting hungry. I know it's time. Can't wait to get mine. It's about time. Burger time. It's about burger time. It's about time. Burger time. Oh, anytime it's burger time.
Why is First Valley Realty considered the premier commercial real estate company in Las Cruces? First Valley Realty has over 33 years in Las Cruces with 11 full-time agents and proven expertise in commercial real estate, property management, investment properties, industrial locations, or land sales. First Valley is part of the global NAI network for reaching potential partners worldwide. Call 521-1535 to reach an agent or go to the #1stvalley.com. That's the #1stvalley.com.
Great Country KGRT 570, your home to the Bulldog Trojan Hockey Night Radio Network presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
44-8 Mayfield, 2:49 to play in the third quarter. At the half, it was 17-2. The Trojans led it. So they have exploded here in the third quarter.
Well, it was just, I don't know, it was a year ago or 2 years ago, we did a 50-point mercy roll against Alamogordo. But this Alamogordo team is a much better team than that one that we saw then.
Yeah, the first half was watchable. From the standpoint, that game we did last year, it was 50-0 at the half, as you mentioned, and the game ended at halftime because of the mercy roll. Catch at the 1, to the 10, to the 20, Barrientos to the 30. Still going, 35, and brought down at the 39. They've got more weapons this year. They've got a young quarterback in the sophomore Hooper who had a good first half throwing for 120 yards on 9 of 19. But here in the second half, he's 3 for 9 for 33 yards and an INT.
And in any sport, you don't know what your weaknesses are until you play a better team, but they help you identify your weaknesses.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Tigers at their own 39-yard line. Hooper drops the snap, picks it up, gets sandwiched, and throws incomplete, and the marker flies. They're going to call roughing the passer here, I think.
Guys, things going bad to worse for Las Cruces high up there. Calling a penalty, calling a timeout to avoid delay of game. Come out of the timeout and they get a delay of game. So that's kind of the night that's going for Las Cruces high up there. Down 24-7 still to Rio Rancho.
Sounds like they're pretty confused and perplexed.
Goddard leads Belen 21-14 in the third quarter. And so Belen, who's in Centennial's district, giving a little notice that they're not going to hand it to Centennial this year. 1st and 10 for the Tigers after the 15-yard penalty for roughing the passer. Handoff to Hicks coming left. 40, 35, and hit from behind and brought down at the 31. He showed some quickness there.
Yeah, Hicks has got a little Barry Sanders on him as he runs with his feet wide and he's stocky and he can go left, he can go right. That was an impressive run. And nobody has a lot of Barry Sanders in him, but he's got a little Barry Sanders in him.
And to the ground again, handoff straight ahead, gain of 4. Hicks again on the carry. 7 carries, 41 yards for Hicks.
But actually, I mean, they're going to get drubbed in this game as they are. But I think it's good for Alamogordo to work on their running game here because that's what they're lacking. And if they get some balance to their offense, they've got some good athletes, and they are improving.
2nd down and 6. Hooper hands off. And across the 25 to the 24-yard line goes Saldana on his first carry of the game. I think he quarterbacked him a year ago. I remember him being prominent in their offense. I don't remember whether he was the quarterback for certain or not, but I remember the name, and I think he was the quarterback a year ago.
I think you're right, Jeff. I think he was a quarterback.
This year, after a freshman season with Hooper, he's the QB as a sophomore. Swings it out left side to Saldana at the 20, at the 15, collisions at the 13, and he pushes the pile down to the 9.
Well executed play, and I think he was, Saldana was the safety man coming out, but I think he was looking for him all the way. I don't think he was looking down the field and then coming to a release. I think he was looking for him as his first option.
That's the end of the third quarter. Tigers have it first and goal when we come back, but at the end of 3, 44-8 Mayfield on the Jack Key scoreboard. Back in a minute.
Hi, my name is Vanessa. I am the sales coordinator at Primetime Fitness.
So we're here at the Field of Dreams, just getting into the fourth quarter. The score is 44-8 with the Mayfield Trojans in the lead. The student section is jamming out, right, Alex?
Yes, they're so crazy. They're having so much fun. The drum line just came onto the track, and you can just feel the energy coming through the air. It is incredible, Emerson. I don't understand how you can be down here and not up there with them.
Right, but we're having a great time here on the field as well. We're going to jam out to the drum line and make sure that we enjoy the rest of the fourth quarter.
Mayfield's averaging 54 a game.
And when you're playing Mercy Rule games, you don't get to play as many minutes as other teams do. So,
first and goal for the Tigers at the 9. Shotgun as it's been all night. Handoff to Hicks coming right. Finds an alley and is banged down hard at the 3 right in the middle of the field. Right between the hashes.
Yeah, they run that play, I think, 3 times in that series. Hicks is doing a nice job, but he's also got a little gap from the offensive line. But Hicks is going to be a good running back for the next 2 years.
Handoff to Hicks, bounces it out to the left, and he's into the end zone. Nice move. Touchdown, Alamogordo. A 3-yard TD run for Hicks, who has 50 yards rushing on 9 carries and a TD now.
Well, Carlos Hicks that was a very impressive drive for him. I mean, he showed he's got a lot of left to right and stop and start, and a little bit of a bowling ball as well, trying to tackle him.
Amazing that we talk about Alamogordo not having a running game, and then they're finding a lot of success, obviously, in a Mercy Rule situation, but having a lot of success running the ball. They're going to have to do that to win games later in the season.
Yeah, they're no longer in the district over here. They leave, and Deming comes in. I guess I don't want to call it a break for the Trojans and the Bulldogs. PAT is on the way, and the kick is no good. But it looks like on this particular season, you know, Deming's 3-0, Alamogordo's 3-0, but who do you think's the better team between those two? I guess we'll find out a little later this year. Deming's at Artesia tonight. 11:37 to play in the game. The PAT's wide to the left. 44-14 Mayfield on the Jack Key scoreboard. Back after this.
Your budget.
Welcome back. Jeff Matthews of Greg Berry and Brad Beasley. Hobbs has taken the lead over on Yacht Day and Hobbs, 21-18. Extra point failures over there, guys. That's the difference in that game. Here, Mayfield's up big, but Alamogordo just scored. Kick taken at the 15. Trojans up the sideline 20, 25, 30, 35, and about the 37, 38-yard line. So Mayfield will start off there. Kavika Johnson tonight has 95 yards rushing on 11 carries. Throwing the ball, not his best night. He's 3 for 13 and an interception. In the second half, he's 0 for 3.
And I think we'd find if teams did a better job of taking away the run against the Trojans, that their passing game would open up some.
Rogers has 3 TDs tonight. Vance has 2 for the Trojans. And the defense has 1. Here's Vance straight ahead. Vance punches it out to the 43-yard line. It's a gain of 3 or 4.
And Alamogordo's problem has been they're able to win individual plays, but they haven't been able to win series. And so they get a stop for a short gain, but they're not able to do it and get 3 and outs.
Who's better, Alamogordo or Carlsbad? We saw Carlsbad last week.
I would say Alamogordo.
I would agree with you, Greg.
2nd down and 6. Low snap to Kavika Johnson. Hands off to Vance. Vance across the 45 to the 46, picks up 2. 71 yards on 6 carries on the Uno stat update for Vance, the Trojan sophomore, as we roll past the 10:50 mark. 44-14, the Trojans dominating Alamogordo tonight.
Alamogordo has shown me they've got a lot of good athletes and they have a lot of speed. They've just got to get more balance to their offense. And as I said a few moments ago, you have to play a better team to find out what your weaknesses are.
3rd down and 4 out of the eye in the shotgun. Johnson hands off and a nice defensive play made. No gain for the Trojans on the ground there as Tingen. No, that was Vance. Vance on the carry and he gets up limping. He really got popped at the line of scrimmage, nothing doing. So a 3 and out for Mayfield. And the Tigers to get it back here after on their last drive. Going 61 yards for a TD. Jimenez to punt. I think it's his first punt of the night.
No, if he kicks it, they had the snap over his head.
Yeah, Pacheco was punting that time, though. And he is here again, so it wasn't Jimenez. That was Franco, by the way, on the punt. And he was a little shaken up after booting it. He's limping off a little bit. Kick down at the 21-yard line, so Alamogordo will take over at their own 21 with 9:33 to play in the game.
Yeah, that punt looked like one of Jeff's golf swings. I mean, the snap.
Now, how do you know that? A, we haven't been golfing, and B, I haven't golfed in 3 years because of swings like that.
I'm just assuming because he hit the ground first before he hit the ball, and I'm sure that's why he's up there limping. And
I've seen.
Sorry, Jeff. You know what? You're probably a 2 handicapper.
I've seen his golf swing, and you're right, Brad.
My golf swing looks nothing like that. Trojans spend a timeout. I own every club ever made, though, to try to make it better. And it didn't help much. Timeout Mayfield, 9:33 to play in the game. 44-14, the Trojans lead it. Somehow the other. Welcome back. Hicks carried for -1 there. 10 carries, 49 yards, and a TD for Hicks. So on their first down carry, Mayfield got him stopped this time. So it's 2nd and 11 for the Tigers from their own 20. Hooper fakes it to Hicks, swings it out left side, caught by Barrientos, makes a guy miss, wrapped up and dropped at the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 10, and it brings up 3rd and 1. 180 yards passing, a TD, and an interception for Hooper tonight. 3rd and 1, the ball at the Tiger 30-yard line. Out of the gun, handoff to Hicks, coming left, grabbed in the backfield. and slung around, and forward progress will be the line of scrimmage, no gain. 4th and 1 at their own 30, down 44-14.
Carlos Hicks, just 5'6", 160-pound junior, but he's a good little running back, and he'll have a good senior year.
So on 4th and 1, it looks like they've decided to punt.
But if I'm Mayfield defense, I'm going to stay at home here because they've shown a propensity for trick plays.
And the quarterback is the punter, so there's always that chance.
4th and a yard to go. The ball is at the Tiger 30-yard line with 7:44 to play in the game. Mayfield's up 44-14. Hooper stands back at his own 15, fields a low snap and gets it away. Trojans have blocked 2 of them tonight. They didn't come at him as hard there that time as they had earlier. And the kick goes out of bounds back at the Trojan 45. So Mayfield will take over 1st and 10 at their own 45. 7:31 to play in the game, 44-14 Mayfield. So after going 69 yards and showing some diversity on their last drive, Tigers go 3 and out on this last possession, and it's 1st and 10 for Mayfield at the Trojan 45-yard line. And Kavika Johnson has him in the eye and the gun, hands off, but not much there. They swallow the running back for a gain of a yard. Payson Rogers back in there, making the stop for Alamogordo. Jaime Rios, the defensive tackle.
And that was a play that has worked consistently well for the Trojans here tonight, but Alamogordo finally got a stop that time. But their problem has not been getting occasional stops, but getting consistent stops.
Figueroa comes wide to the left, Tingen in a slot to the left side, 2 tight ends. Split eye out of the shotgun, and Kavika Johnson's going deep, and Tingen drops it at the 20. He was 5 yards ahead of his defender. So now Kavika Johnson's 0 for 4 in the second half, and he's missed on his last 7 pass attempts.
And that wasn't on Kavika because he put it right on the numbers.
I was going to say.
And
I should get charged 15 yards for piling on.
That was just a drop. Ben Tingen will be mad at himself because he knows not only should he have caught that ball, but he should have been in the end zone.
Yeah, I should be penalized for piling on there because Kavika threw a pretty good pass there. So it's 3rd down and 9 for the Trojans from the Trojan 46. Twins to the left. Rogers and Johnson in the backfield. Vance comes in now. Looks to the sideline to get the play. Kavika fields a good snap, gets a pass rush, feels it, gets away from it, fires complete. Figueroa has it, and I think he's just shy of a 1st down at the Tiger 45 by less than a yard.
And I'll be very surprised if the Trojans don't go for it here, as they're on the Alamo side of the 50, and the distance they have to go for the 1st down is about a foot, if that far. No, not even that far. In fact, they're going to measure it.
He may have the 1st down. They need the back of the line.
Yeah, you got a fairly generous.
And they've got the front of the line. They're missing it by how thick the paint stripe is on the yard line
and
stripe.
They got a fairly generous spot on it. I thought Isaac Figueroa was probably a foot shorter than that, but.
Oh, no way, man. You're being picky. That was a perfect spot.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Shot. Yeah. How thick is the paint on those stripes, Brad?
It's about 3 inches.
That's how far they got to go. From one end of the painted stripe of the 45 to the other end of the painted stripe of the 45. That's as descriptive as I can get. So it's 4th and inches for Mayfield. They come out in the bone, tight splits. Kavika Johnson hands to Rogers. He bursts through to the 3rd level, across the 40, across the 35, and down to the 33-yard line for a gain of 13.
Well, for years in the short yardage situation, the Trojans have gone to the wishbone formation and run the power play following extra blockers. And it's they do it so often because it's worked so well through the years.
6:10 to play in the game. Trojans have it 1st and 10 at the Tiger 33-yard line. They go to the wishbone. Kavika has pressure right away. Somebody missed a block. Kavika's grabbed. They're going to rule his forward progress down. did get him down, but he was in trouble from Nathaniel Martin, the defensive tackle, right away. One of the guards or the center missed a block, totally whiffed on him.
That was that old lookout block.
Yeah.
Loss of 10.
Yeah, that would in basketball we'd call that matador defense.
It's a sack for the
matador blocking.
First sack of the night for Alamogordo. And so Mayfield now has its second and 20 at the Tiger 44.
Now if Mayfield passes here, I'm okay with it.
Figueroa wide to the right. Tingen wide to the right. Olivas wide to the right. Johnson wants to go to the air. He's protected well this time. Sprinting right, flits it fly to Figueroa, who has it. And Figueroa driven out of bounds at the 34. So that's a gain of 10, and it brings up 3rd and 10. Figueroa plays basketball for the Trojans as well, but last year he tore his ACL in the very first football game of the year. So he missed all of football and he missed all of basketball. From all accounts, he's a really good guy, and they get him back this year and getting him into the mix here a little bit. 3rd down and a little more than 10 to go. The ball at the 34 of Alamogordo. They need every bit of 10 yards. 3 wide receivers, knee-high snap. Johnson fields it, stands back, lets it fly. Tingen's open, has it at the 5. Touchdown, Mayfield. Penalty marker down, though, back at the 24-yard line. So Tingen, for now, has a TD catch. We'll see who the penalty is.
It's going to be
Holding Alamogordo, that will be declined. Touchdown, Mayfield. What a pass from Kavika to Tingen. 34 yards for the TD. 127 yards passing in a TD now, and an interception for Kavika Johnson. So the Trojans to try to tack on the PAT and flags fly, which will stop the PAT attempt here, and they'll step it off. 4:22 to play in the game. Mayfield goes 55 yards. The Trojans penalized for 5 yards here, giving them 50 yards in penalties on 5 flags. And it's 50-14. The Trojans lead it on the Jack Key scoreboard. The PAT is away, and it's good. 51-14 Mayfield. So the Trojans a little shy of their season average of 54 points a game, but they're eking up there. 4:22 to play in the game on the Jack Key scoreboard. 51-14 Trojans. Back after this.
Out of all the good places to eat, there are just a few great places to dine.
Handoff inside. Saldana carries to the Trojan 49 for 3. 2 carries, 5 yards for Saldana. And the Tigers in the hurry up, 2nd down and 7 at the Trojan 49-yard line. Good snap to the sophomore. Hooper swings it out to Saldana, 50-45. 1st down 40, up to sideline 35-30. He was limping before that play, but then when he got free on the sideline, the limp went away. And he carries all the way down to the 27-yard line for a gain of 22.
Well, I remember back when Jim Brown was the best running back in football, or carrier of the football anyway, and he would
Man, you're old.
Jim who?
Get up after every play and limp to the huddle and then take off running full speed.
Swing pass to Saldana. Saldana puts on a move. The Trojans whiff on him around the 20. He's across to 10 and all the way down to the 5. Who is this, Jim Brown?
Probably the best carrier of the football in the history of the game.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just having some fun with you.
Yeah, I know. But he would always, after a tackle, he would kind of limp back to the huddle, and you'd wonder, could he ever carry it again? And then he'd come out and be blistering and knocking people over.
Greg's going to give us a Red Grange quote here in a second.
Pitch to Hicks. Hicks gets to the edge, and he's in. Touchdown, Alamo. So Hicks with a 5-yard run. He has 2 TDs tonight.
Well, I did used to like the movie Jim Thorpe All-American, and that would have been the first great football player that would come to my mind.
I had shut off the recorder that records the highlights, and yet I've been hitting the button to track every play, and I turned it on after the last TD. Creature of habit. So the Tigers started at their own 22, and they went 78 yards. Is that the first team defense in there, or is they got some different guys in there?
We got a few different guys up on the defensive line.
Yeah, so they at 51-14, they decided to sprinkle some people in there, and Alamogordo took it right down the field on him. Hooper goes to the air going for 2, and the pass incomplete. Poster out. It was intended for Hunter Graham, the pass behind him and incomplete. So it's 51-20, Mayfield with 1:27 to play in the game. We'll keep it here and have a little fun. I think we've got all our spots in a game that features 71 points. So Hicks, a 5-yard TD run for Alamogordo. This game was interesting at the half. It was 17-2, and then Alamogordo recovered a free kick. It wasn't really an onside kick, kind of a pooch kick. They got a good bounce on it, recovered it, and then threw a TD pass on 4th down, and it's 17-8. It's a 9-point game after Alamogordo gets the first possession of the second half. And then it's been all Mayfield since.
Jeff, just an update. It's still getting interesting up in Albuquerque, or excuse me, Rio Rancho. Cruces High has cut the lead to 8, 30-22 with 5 minutes to go. Las Cruces High, they said, has used all of their timeouts. But Las Cruces one stop away from trying to get another score and tie the game up.
Sounds like they're not ready to get back on the bus just yet.
No, absolutely. NM Preps posted an hour ago that Rio Rancho is going to be the new #1 team in the state. It's not over yet. But
what it is he must have a lot of subscribers in Rio Rancho. Huh? He's been trying to kill the dogs for 2 weeks.
Well, you know where your bread's buttered. That's what I was always taught.
Well,
and I'm not being critical of him. He covers high school football well, but he had them buried and dead with 2 minutes to go last week.
And before the season ever began, I said Mayfield was the #1 team. So it's like they're not paying any attention to Mayfield scores, I guess.
Yeah, how could Rio Rancho hop all the way to 1? I guess because they beat Cruces. Well, we could do our own poll and call it the BTK poll. And the 4 of us vote and release it. There you go. If we want our own poll, I guess we could have it. But that's work. Then people complain. Like we're doing right now. We don't just thank him for doing a poll. We got to complain about it. Here's a pooch kick taken at the 25 to the 30, 35, 40. Trojans to the 45 up to the 47-yard line. So good return. 1:20 to play in the game.
Now I hope Mayfield will do us a favor and keep the ball on the ground.
Well, that's because you got dinner plans. I wouldn't mind seeing a nice drive here. Mix the pass with the run with the backup.
I don't want to see 3 incomplete passes. I know.
Joe Ray Valencia's taken over. Let's see what he's got, Greg. 1:20 to play in the game. Greg's acting like he's got plans tonight.
You got second team in all the way around now for Mayfield.
All right. Joe Ray Valencia takes over the quarterbacking duties, and the split end for Mayfield takes off because he's uncovered. There was nobody covering him. That's
Wow.
Gavin Swinson, the sophomore. And Gavin is fit to be tied right now. He's so upset because he knows he wasn't covered. So he knows his quarterback has noticed that. And he took off because he wanted to go score.
That just makes me feel bad for him because he's going to get hammered in film room tomorrow.
New rule this year, you got to move on the snap of the ball.
And now he's covered, and he's going, man, I didn't have anybody on me last play. 1st and 15, Joe Ray Valencia fakes a handoff and keeps, and goes down back at the 42, no gain.
I hope they run that play 2 more times.
Greg really getting into the strategy of this game now. I couldn't even wake him up with smelling salts late last week. Second down and 15 for the Trojans. Split eye out of the shotgun. Ball at the 42. Handoff coming left. That's Patrick Shannon, 45-50, 45 first down all the way to the 40-yard line. Gain of about 20, about 18.
Well, it looks like Mayfield has players waiting in the wings for future years.
Greg Hennington absolutely going berserk trying to get the personnel package in. They didn't huddle, otherwise they'd have had 12 men in the huddle. Joe Ray Valencia rolls right. Joe Ray Valencia now cuts back to the left after picking up a block, and he's tackled at the 40. Gained a yard. Second down and 9 with 20 seconds to play in the game. The Trojans up 31.
And these players have no interest in running off the clock because they want to get as many snaps as they can.
Fact is, Trojans have 2 timeouts. I wouldn't be surprised if they called one. Not the coaches, the players. Handoff, here's Patrick Shannon. 30, 25, 20, 15. Still got time for a timeout. There's 1 second. Oh, he clicked to 000. He's dropped at the 15. That's a gain of 26 yards. He wound up with 44 yards on 2 carries. Did Patrick Shannon. That's the ball game. Post-game show comes your way next on the Jack Key scoreboard. Mayfield 51, Alamogordo 20. Back after this.
You like Chicken McNuggets, and you like football. When you bring both together for a tailgate, you can take that tailgate anywhere and bring anyone. Like a herd of goats, or with a group of saints, or even a flock of falcons. And maybe a bear, too. Bears are
So
bad.
Cruces has the ball with 3 minutes to go.
Nuggets are just $5
Down 8.
this football season. Hear that? That's a...
Monte! Yo, check that mic. Why could you
An update. Rio Rancho. 6 minutes to go in the game. 30-22. Rio Rancho leads.
How to catch like this? Just over his head.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing.
Fuck her and the pussy.
been a great night here at the Field of Dreams. I'm here with Coach Bradley, the head coach for the Mayfield Trojans. How are you tonight, Coach?
I'm doing great. I'm glad that one was over with.
For sure. So you were talking a little bit about it here before we went on, but can you explain a little bit about what was going on here, like just a couple seconds ago?
Well, Coach Hooper, he approached me last year about saying a prayer with the student-led prayer at the end of the game with Alamogordo, and what we do is just kind of mix in with everybody, and we leave it on the field, and whatever happens on the field, leave it on the field, and we come together at the end and pray for everybody that they came out of this game healthy and well, and we wish everybody luck for the rest of the season.
I think that's an awesome way to really unite a couple teams. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're looking forward to as the season progresses?
Well, it's just going to keep on getting tougher from here. We've got El Dorado next week, and we're facing the Gentry kid, which is going to go to Texas next year. He's already got a scholarship, and they've got a very tough offense. And then we play Monzano after that, and then we get into district. So it's just going to get tougher, and we're 4-0 right now. We didn't play as well as we wanted to tonight. We made a lot of mistakes, but we did a lot of good things also. So I'm proud of our kids, and Alamogordo's got a good football team, and we're looking forward to next week.
Awesome. Thanks so much, and congratulations, Coach. Have a good night.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Alex. So it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you tonight. How have you been?
I've been doing great. I mean, it's a great night to be a Trojan, isn't it, Emerson? They killed it, and it was just a great night here with you.
It has been a lot of fun. Wherever you are watching from, we want to extend a great big thank you from LCPS TV. We are an all student-led production crew from all the high schools here in Las Cruces, so I think it's really cool that we get to cooperate to bring this broadcast to you. Once again, thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you have a very good night. This has been Emerson Morrow from Mayfield.
And Alex Montoya from Centennial High School. Good night.